Hi friends, Nancy here, gratefully recovering food addict, and today I would like to talk about how I have used food to help lessen the pain from rheumatoid arthritis that I have. So a little bit about my background. I have always struggled with my food addiction all my life and dieted my way up to 300 pounds. And so finally, when I was 55, I was able to, after going to therapy for a year and working really hard on it, I was able to get abstinent, start going to Overeaters Anonymous, studying the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which really helped me, and found some real solid recovery, one day at a time, by the grace of my higher power. So I'll be celebrating in April 2021 10 years of being free of sugar and processed foods and all my alcoholic foods, the foods that I couldn't control, couldn't stop eating compulsively. They got me to 300 pounds. So I lost 167 pounds. It took 3.5 years. And I was following kshepard.com, her beautiful Mediterranean food plan, nice, well-balanced meals. It was great. And then about 8 years in, I started having symptoms, pain, and lots of, I just wasn't doing well. Dr. Google, I checked and I thought I maybe had lupus. So I went to the rheumatologist and come to find out I have rheumatoid arthritis. And I found that he really couldn't do much for me. I asked him about diet, controlling my diet, and he said that's kind of a controversial subject, and that when the pain, or if the pain got bad, to come back for pain medication, and I guess that's all he could have done for me. So I went to the drawing board, and for me, everything's about the food. I went to culinary school, I studied nutrition, and so everything's about food. So I thought, well, this probably is a food solution for me. So I did a bunch of research, and I found out that rheumatoid arthritis is a autoimmune disease and could be caused by leaky gut, a leaky gut. So first thing I did was try to heal the leaky gut. And so I have this book, The Lupus Cookbook by Anna Reisdorf. And I'm just going to read a little part about gut health from there because it explains it really well. It says, leaky gut occurs when the spaces between intestinal cells get damaged, allowing food molecules, viruses, and bacteria to pass through unchecked. When this happens, the immune cells that sit outside the gut begin to attack those unexpected substances. The problem is that many of these substances look quite similar to the body's own cells and tissues. Unable to tell friend from foe, the immune system has mounted an attack against the body itself, leading to an autoimmune disease and chronic inflammation. So, in my research, I found that healing the leaky gut takes a few things. Well, I follow the anti-inflammatory diet, and also I find that turmeric tea is supposed to be good. This one is, I find, delicious, ginger and turmeric, and has cinnamon in it too. It's clean, and it's nice, a nice tea to have. And also apple cider vinegar helps. You shake it up so that you have the mother in there, and that helps. And also, I have props. Also, the probiotics help, and bone broth. Now, bone broth you can find in packages at the supermarket. That's not the stuff that's going to help your leaky gut. I started making my own bone broth in the Instapot, cooking the bones with water for a long, long time. But now I just, I buy my protein, my meats and poultry and things with the bones in, and I cook it in a slow cooker on high for 4 hours, and it's done. And I take the meat out, and I let the liquid gel in the refrigerator. I take off the fat off the top, throw that out, and the jelly stuff, that's the bone broth. So I just add it with my serving of meat, or you can drink it on its own. It's very good and very good for your belly. And then, so I still was having pain, and so wanted to follow this anti-inflammatory protocol. Also, autoimmune protocol, you can look that up. That's very helpful, all that information. So the first thing is to restore the gut health. There's an imbalance of healthy microbes in the digestive tract. Too many bad bacteria triggers inflammation by signaling the immune system to react. The goal is to restore balance in the intestinal flora, and the probiotics help with that, the bone broth. The turmeric ginger tea helps with inflammation. So the number one thing that I had to do was stop eating all grains. That's, whole grains. That's including wheat, barley, rye, rice, quinoa, oats, you name it. And so that really kind of set my food plan as a food addict in a tailspin, because I just didn't know, what to do, how to follow a food plan, how to make one up for myself as a food addict. Can't really trust my thinking. The disease talks to me sometimes. So that was difficult, increasing vegetables, increasing starchy vegetables. So I tried other things. I tried paleo, I went to keto, and through all this, I gained 40 pounds. The keto was absolutely not working for me. Trying to get some kind of grains or, something in my diet, I was using coconut flour, and I hadn't been using flour for 8 years of any kind, too processed, and it was not good for me. It just didn't work for me. So I quit all that. And also eggs. I find that I can eat egg yolks, but the egg whites just really, it's painful afterwards. Dairy, all dairy products are very inflammatory. Beans and legumes, healthy, abstinent foods, but they're inflammatory. And then the plant proteins, the beans, legumes, and tofu. Tofu is very inflammatory also, unfortunately. And then sugar. I had given up sugar, almost 10 years ago. And, maybe the first birthday, the first holiday is a little difficult. It depends on how determined you are and how solid you are in your commitment. But after that, I don't miss sugar at all, and I know how it sets me off to get back to my 300 pounds, and I can get through a birthday very happily. Holidays are very happier because I'm not obsessed with the food and what I'm going to eat next and what I shouldn't be eating and that I ate too much. You know the drill. Okay, so also processed foods contain chemicals, bad for inflammation. Food additives and thickeners, emulsifiers, artificial colors, artificial flavors, and if you look at food labels, which you really should study food labels before you buy anything, the natural flavorings, 99 times out of 100, that is sugar. So it's not good. It's not good at all. Okay, fats like margarine, omega-6 fats, those are inflammatory. I'll go through the list of foods that fight inflammation, and I'll also make a list. You don't need to jot these down. I'll have a list in the comments. Nuts and seeds. I figured, nuts are healthy, and it was difficult for me to give them up. But every time I had nuts, my body ached. I was racked with pain. Not worth it. A nut is not worth pain. Chocolate, I had given that up almost a decade ago. Alcohol, I had given that up. That's just sugar to my body. Coffee, I never was a coffee drinker, so that was easy for me to give up. And at this point, I want to say, if you're used to eating all these things, don't jump in feet first. Maybe, put down one thing a week or whatever works for you, whatever is comfortable for you. But these things are inflammatory. Also, nightshade vegetables, which are white potatoes, tomatoes. Tomatoes really do a number on me. Eggplant, okra, hot peppers, sweet bell peppers, paprika, cayenne pepper, goji berries. I've never had a goji berry, but they say they're cause inflammation. And then also some medications, NSAIDs like ibuprofen can contribute to a leaky gut. So that is the basic. Okay, so what are things that we can eat safely that fight inflammation? And the list is much larger than the list of things that are hurtful to my body. So meat and poultry, including organ meats. Organ meats are very good for gut health. Choose antibiotic-free, hormone-free, organic, and grass-fed or pasture-raised whenever possible, if you can afford it. And then fatty fish high in omega-3, such as wild salmon, sardines, mussels, rainbow trout, Atlantic mackerel. And then all vegetables except for the nightshades that I mentioned before. So that leaves you lots of vegetables to make interesting meals. All fruit in moderation, no more than 2 servings a day. More than 2 servings, I think, can bother inflammation. Sweet potatoes and other tubers, I enjoy parsnips. And then fresh and dried herbs. Coconut products like coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut sugar, but I don't use sugar personally. Oils and fats. The best would be avocado oil and coconut oil, olive oil. I've gotten to really like the avocado oil now. It's really light. It's not as flavorful as olive oil. And when I have coconut oil, I kind of think it's kind of sweet because we're used to having coconut oil be sweet. And those fats have omega-3 fats, which are very good, help fight inflammation. Fermented foods, all your fermented foods. Kombucha, which I don't drink because it has alcohol in it. I'm not quite sure why that's on this list. Sauerkraut, kimchi, all fermented vegetables, like pickles, but you have to be careful if they're just fermented with vinegar. That's not really fermented. Fermented is when they sit on the shelf. I was making my own coleslaw for a while. It was tasty and very simple. You can get instructions online. It's very simple to make. Just grated up cabbage, throw in a little sea salt if you like, let it sit for a while and ferment in a bowl, and then squeeze it and get the juice, squeeze it, and it reduces down and you get a lot of liquid. And then I put it in canning jars, and you have to make sure that you cover the top with the liquid or it will brown on the top, and set it on the counter for a week and then put it in the refrigerator, and it's nice, it's sweet, and it's really good for your gut health. Let's see, bone broth must be made from real bones. The canned broth at stores does not contain the important minerals or collagen found in real bone broth, and also is loaded with sodium. So if you do what I do, I just think that's the easiest way to do it, is cook meats slowly in with the bones, because that's where the bone broth comes from. Green, black, and most herb teas, and vinegar. So also, you know, this recovery thing, it needs to be attacked on all fronts, not just food. It's you know, mind, body, and soul. And I also find that exercise, I do just a little bit of light exercise in the morning, and it's wonderful for my for pain reduction from the rheumatoid arthritis. And throughout the day, you might want to get up and just move around, put on a song that you like, and just kind of dance around 3 minutes. Sitting for long periods really is bad for rheumatoid arthritis. You just kind of freeze up and feel bad. There was a time that I had fibromyalgia, which is kind of an autoimmune also. It's linked. At that time, I went back to school, and I would sit for 20 minutes, and then I would move around for 20 minutes, and I actually set a timer, because if I sat for more than 20 minutes, I would just freeze up, be all crippled up. And I think I kind of got rid of the fibromyalgia by becoming a happier person. That's where the mind things come in. Daily prayer and meditation, and trying to be positive, thinking in a positive mode. Worry is praying for what we don't want. Worry is saying negative affirmations over and over. So when a negative thought comes into my mind, and realize it, I try to switch it around, say, well, what is the scenario that I wish would happen? What would make me happy? What would be the best thing for all concerned? And I found that very helpful. I just wanted to mention, I do 15 minutes, Leslie Sansone. I have DVDs. You can find her exercise videos on YouTube very easily. And also Peter Van Dam's Western Yoga for All. And I'll put a link in there for the video, or you can get the DVD. You can buy his DVD. I think that is everything that I wanted to say. And I will put a bunch of links down for a nice 10-minute meditation. That really is a nice piece for a well-balanced, because it is mind, body, and soul. If we just concentrate on the body, we'll be unbalanced. If we just concentrate on our mind and meditating 8 hours a day, we're out of balance. Or meditation. So, yeah, it's all about balance, isn't it? That's what they always tell us. So, I'm pulling for you, and God bless. Take good care. Bye-bye.